Welcome to the Jill on Money Show. It's Wednesday, March 6th, and we are here trying to help you make different, better, less bad financial decisions. What Mark and I try to do, because we're both certified financial planners, is that we try to talk to you and get a sense of what's going on in your big picture, your real life. And we also want to understand how your financial life plays a role in kind of making you happy and getting you where you want to go. So if there's something going on and maybe it's lingering, or maybe it's a big decision, or maybe it's a real estate decision, or maybe it's a tax issue, give us a holler. Go to JillOnMoney.com, click the contact us button. Let us know if you would be willing to come on the air live with us. Now, while you are on our website, which you have bookmarked by now, you can sign up for the free weekly newsletter, which is great, comes out every Friday. You can also check out our subscription service. It's called Jill on Money Live. For $35, you have access to quarterly live webinars and a lot of cool special bonus video content. Our next webinar is coming up in just a couple weeks. It is with Cal Newport. He is a New York Times bestselling author. His books, Digital Minimalism and Deep Work, were like seminal for me and Mark. We love this guy. His newest book is called Slow Productivity, The Lost Art of Accomplishment Without Burnout. I want that. And I'm very much looking forward to our conversation. I hope you join us for that conversation. You can only do that if you are part of Jill on Money Live. So check that out. All right. Now, I want to get to our listener, Lee, from the Bay Area, because she was very patient using various ways to connect with us. So Lee, welcome to the program. Thank you for getting through your technological issues with us.
Sure, no problem.
All right. What is going on and how can we help you out?
Okay, well, first of all, I'm a new listener. I love your program. I just found you about a month ago. I've been thinking my retirement strategy and wondering, am I contributing too much to my 401k, and should I redirect that into my brokerage account?
I love this question. We've gotten a bunch of people who have had this exact same issue. So I'm so happy you contacted us. So Lee, how old are you?
61.
And you're still working full time, right?
Yes, and I love my job, and I plan to work until I'm 65.
Great. How much do you earn?
I earn about $200,000.
Okay, great. Are you married, partnered, single, any of the above?
I'm single.
And do you have children?
Yes, 2 adult children, fully launched.
Okay, that's such good news. I love that. I love fully launched. That's like music to my ears. So my next question for you is, of your $200,000, how much are you putting into retirement right now?
Well, I just ran some numbers. It's close to about $6,000 a month. I do my 401k. I do a catch up, and my employer lets me do after tax. So I do the mega backdoor Roth.
Wow, that's a ton of money. So how much money is in the retirement account right now, total?
So my total in my retirement accounts is $2.4 million.
Whoa, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. And so break it down for me. Which is any part of that Roth?
Yes, I have $345,000 in Roth, $400,000 in my 401k, and the remaining in traditional IRAs.
Okay, that's great. So that's the mega backdoor, of course. Okay, so what about your non-retirement savings? How have you managed that? Tell me what you have so far.
I have 1.1 in a brokerage account. I have another 200K in emergency, and then just another, like in my checking, perhaps 10K.
Okay, that's great. That's fantastic. You own or do you rent in the Bay Area?
Own.
Okay, what is the house worth?
Oh, about $950.
Wow. Is there a mortgage that still remains on it?
No.
Oh my gosh. Living large. And you love this house? You're going to keep this? This is like your forever, or is there some other plan?
No, it's not my forever. I'd like to probably downsize at some point.
And would you stay in California or would you downsize to a cheaper state?
I would stay in California.
Okay. So when you look at you're saving so much money, but what would you guess your expenses are?
Oh, my expenses are very minimal, maybe, I don't know, $5,000 a month.
Oh my gosh. You said you're going to work till you're 65. What does your Social Security benefit look like at your full retirement age or at age 70? Do you know that?
It's a lot. I looked at it. I have that somewhere, but I don't have it handy. I want to say it's like $4,000, I think.
Yeah. I mean, like there's literally no problem in your life right now in terms of your money. So if you're asking me, are you saving too much in retirement? I think the bigger issue is that because so much of your money has not yet been taxed between the traditional 401k and the IRA, there's probably going to be an opportunity for you to try to get some of that money out or convert some of that money when you stop working. It doesn't have to be right this second, but I kind of I get what you're saying, which is, your top bracket right now. I know you pay a lot of taxes because you're a single filer in a high tax state, California.
Right.
So that means, your top bracket is 32%, but California taxes a lot, but you still have a lot of money. So I think that if you're willing to kind of suck it up a little bit and just say, you know what, I'm going to pull back on my retirement contribution and build up the brokerage account, mostly because you have so much money that hasn't been taxed, it's creating a problem. And the more you put in there, the bigger the problem gets. So right now, with all this money you're putting away, I could certainly see an easy fix to the compounding problem, which is like, don't put as much in and certainly don't put any money in pre-tax and just direct that to your brokerage account. But if we were going to wind the clock forward to say you're age 65, and if you love your job, you can keep working till you're 70, whatever you want to do. But let's just pretend that it's 65. What you would then do at age 65 would be to look at the money that is pre-tax, and you would start withdrawing some of that money every year until age 70. I mean, I literally would go into a sort of $100,000 a year kind of cadence here, where you'd say, let me take 100,000 out, let me pay the tax that's due, and live on, because you probably don't even need that much. You could probably pull out, I would even say you could probably pull out like $150,000 a year for those 5 years, assuming tax rates stay at these levels. I don't know what's going to happen, but let's just say that if you could pull money out at the 24% tax bracket, right? You pull the money out for those 5 years and you'll start to alleviate that future burden of your required minimum distribution. Then when you claim Social Security at age 70, what you would do is you would pull out less money every year from 70 to 75. All right. But you would still pull money out for those years. I'm not sure it's going to make sense to necessarily convert it. I think you can get a lot of money out during those years, but you could also, if you have enough money in your brokerage account, potentially be able to convert the money. But let's see, because it may just be easier to pull it out, pay the tax, move on. You have no money problems. We're talking about an efficiency problem.
Did she mention the rental units?
No, I didn't hear about a rental unit. I didn't hear that at all.
Oh, yeah.
What kind of rental units? Tell me.
I have rental properties that are owned free and clear, and that produce an income. Oh boy, I think about $60K.
This is ruining my game plan. There goes my tax bracket issue. Well, I'll tell you what. Are you going to keep these rental properties?
Yes, definitely. And if I move from my primary residence, I would convert this to another rental property.
You would? Okay.
Yes.
Well, I mean, you don't need the money, so what's the difference? You're just collecting money. You're like Leona Helmsley.
And then I'm also, I heard on one of your shows recently, I'm afraid to spend. I've accumulated. I got to work on decumulating.
Let me ask you something. Are you charitably inclined at all?
Yes.
Okay. Another thing to consider that may be worth just because you are charitably inclined, is that when you turn 70 and a half, what you could do is start using your pre-tax retirement accounts as a way to give money. So a qualified charitable distribution can come from a retirement account. I presume when you retire, it'll get rolled over into a traditional IRA. You can pull money out of that IRA account and direct it. It doesn't come to you. You actually just say, I want to direct this to charities up to $100,000 a year. And that could be another way to get money out of those accounts, which might be very helpful to you. If you are, and it only works if people like charities, right? If you're charitably inclined, you've got your adult kids and they're fully launched and you want to do something nice, that's a wonderful way to get money out of those accounts. But otherwise, the rental properties, the equity in the house, all the money in the world that you've saved, you are in fantastic shape, absolutely fantastic shape. Is there any reason why either of your kids would want to purchase your house from you?
Oh, that's funny. I did ask it because my son is getting married and they want to buy a house. And even though they're both high-tech workers, it's almost impossible to buy a house here in the Bay Area within their budget. They don't want to be house
poor. But one idea might be that if they want to buy the house, you could hold the mortgage on the house, and it doesn't have to be a 7% note. In other words, they could pay you. You could say, all right, I own the house. I'm selling it to you. Right. So they buy the house for and all they would have to do is come up with a down payment, which they may, if they're high tech workers, maybe they can do it. This is something you should actually think about. This could be a great idea, in which case you can say to them, well, I will extend the mortgage to you. You'll pay me based on, 3%, 3.5%, something that's reasonable for you that gets them into the house. And you can have an attorney draft this so that your other kid doesn't feel like, oh, you gave, my brother the greatest deal in the world. I didn't get anything. But there are some really great things to do within a family to be able to help them, your son and your future daughter-in-law, that I think that that could be a really interesting idea, especially because you actually want to not be in this house long-term. Well, I think you're in great shape. Your general question was should I stop? Am I over-saving in my retirement? Yeah, you probably are. But, I would prefer that a lot of your saving take place in the brokerage account. And then your strategy should be, I've got to get money out of that traditional environment when my tax bracket drops down. And that will be, I think, the generalized game plan. But you're not, look, at $200,000 plus the 60 from the rental property, you're in a high tax bracket right now. So I wouldn't worry
plus I get a pension.
Oh my God. The hits just keep coming from this woman. Unbelievable. What's the pension?
It's a small pension, about a little over 14,000.
Yeah, but that and your Social Security, you've got such low expenses, you're fine. Plus the rental income. Plus. You're in great shape. You're a good saver. But I think that your idea about, am I over saving in retirement? Absolutely. You don't need to. Flexibility in that brokerage account. And, tax efficiency is going to be tough for you. Use your free cash flow. I would convert. I would pull money out. I'd look at a qualified charitable distribution. But again, you can only do that at age 70 and a half. So for 5 years, there are a lot of things that you can do to start to mitigate your future required minimum distributions.
What's the total value of these rental properties?
Approximately $2 million.
Oh my God. They're not getting that. But how can you only get $60,000 a year? Are you not charging enough rent?
Maybe. Well, I don't know. I have a property manager. I'm pretty sure the rents are pretty good. And actually, I think it might be more like 85. I think I was wrong on that calculation. I'm embarrassed to say I don't really know that amount without pulling up the spreadsheet. Let's
check on that, okay? She's in such good shape. I can't even believe it, Mark. It's unbelievable. Lee from the Bay Area, an embarrassment of riches. If you are trying to seek a strategy for retirement, and you don't have to have millions of dollars and rental property and cash flow and all these things, it's just you. Whatever is going on in your life We would like to hear from you. Again, it doesn't have to be all good news. I know a lot of people will say like, oh, people have such great situations. Yes, some do, some don't. All we care about is your situation. So if you need our help, if you need a little pat on the back, a boost, a coaching, a mentoring of sorts, give us a holler. Go to JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button, and let us know if you would be willing to come on the air with us. Hey, while you're on the website, don't forget, you can buy my book, The Great Money Reset, now out in paperback. If you're listening to this podcast and you are not a subscriber, shame on you. You can subscribe to us on the Odyssey app or wherever you find your favorite podcasts. Please leave us a rating and review wherever you listen. And importantly, try to lift someone up today. Change your work, change your wealth, change your life. Thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.